Hi everyone, and welcome to class. I'm Sherry. In today's class, we'll be working a lot with our core. So sort of consider it a yoga conditioning class, but our core is obviously essential to everything we do in yoga, but also in life as well. It's our stabilizer muscles, how we balance and hold ourselves in space. Important in yoga for even getting up and off of the mat and into even the advanced poses such as handstands, crow pose, etc. So there's no getting around using your core. So let's get to it. Let's get into this really fun class. It's one of my favorites. So I will have a block. You could also do anything that brings the ground up, a couple of books, anything. I have the block is essentially a foot in height. So we'll get started on our backs. Have the block handy next to you because we'll use it right away. So on your back, let's just take a few grounding breaths. You could even take your left hand on your chest, right hand on the belly. Let's take 4 really deep, mindful breath cycles. So inhale, we'll fill the belly and the chest. And exhaling everything. And just do 3 more of those. Inhale. And a big exhale. You can open your mouth and sigh. So it's really important to get rid of like unwanted energy so we can just be here and focus for our class. Plus it's a gift to ourselves to be on our mat and give our time to ourselves. 1 more breath. Inhale. And a big exhale. Good. Reach arms nice and long along the side of the body. We'll just do a couple of arch curls of our pelvis, getting into our core, just to wake it up a bit. So start by lifting the low back. So keep your tailbone on your mat, but lift the low back up so it creates a space. Exhale as you flatten the low back. So again, it's just this really subtle move. We're going to do that 2 more times. So a little lift, arcing of the low back, tilting the pelvis, and then exhale. We round into the low back. 1 more of those. Inhale, lift, and exhale. And just take a moment and notice, how do you feel just with that easy movement? Okay, so now we'll engage the core. So it's more between in a neutral spine, between the arc and the flattening of the low back. So lift the right knee up to about 90 degrees. Bring your hands behind the back of the head. So we'll take the knee around 90 degrees. So lift the chest, take a twist, take your left elbow towards your right knee and back on down for a total of 10. So then 9, 8. So I'm keeping my knee a little bit away, not drawing it in, so I can kind of challenge myself to lift a bit further up. Okay, 5, 4, 3, really rotate, turn, 2, and 1. Good. Lower the right foot down, lift the left knee, lift the chest. Now, right elbow towards your left knee, back on down, total of 10. So that's 9, 8. So I'm trying to keep myself up. I'm not lowering myself completely when I go back down. And when I lift back up to turn, so see how much of your shoulder blades you can get off of the mat. So we're about 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now this is where we'll take our block. If you don't have a block, not a big deal at all. Just kind of seal your legs together. Otherwise, the block goes inside of the thighs, not at the lower half of the shin area, in your thighs. Lift the chest up. Keep your knees at 90 degrees. Hands face downwards to hover. And if you like your knees bent, you can bring it here. If you like a little more challenge, reach the legs forward. And we're just pulsing for 20. So 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 11, 10. Keep your upper body lifted. Keep breathing. And just a couple more, and we are already done. And release. Good. Take your block, place it at the top of your mat. That's where you'll need it next. Roll yourself up to just an easy seated position. Hands go on top of the knees. And we're just going to do some more arch and curls of the back so the spine gets a bit loosened up. So lift the chest, elongate the spine, open your chest, inhale. Exhale, round into your back for like a cat pose. Inhale and lift. And exhale, round. Good. Inhale, lift. One more. Exhale, round. Let's just hold it. So hold onto your knees nice and firm so you're not falling back, and just let your back body stretch. So when we think of our core, we often think of the front body core area. We can't forget about the whole entire 360 degrees back body as well. Okay, so let's lift the arms up. Inhale, take a deep breath. Take your right hand way off to the side, and we'll side bend over to the right. Melt your left hip down. Good, and then we're gonna add just a little challenge here. So gauge your core. Reach the right arm up off the floor as well. So we're holding ourselves up in space. Take another breath or two. Good. Come on up and then over to the opposite side. So we're side bend now to the left. So first, it's a good stretchy side bend. Melt your right hip into the mat this time. Okay, take another breath, stretch, enjoy, and then engage your core. You might need to scale back a bit to reach and float your left arm up. So I'm staying turned, face straight ahead rather than down or up, just straight ahead. Another breath. Come on back up. Good. Release the arms down. Make it onto your hands and your knees. Coming into tabletop. So same cat-cow here. Lift the chest, melt the belly, tailbone rises. And exhale, round into your cat. This feels so good when we do a lot of core. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, round. Good. Find that neutral spine here. That still means your core is engaged. Right arm lifts in front, left leg lifts behind. Okay. Engage one more time. Feel it. Then bring your elbow towards your knee. Round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. So using stabilizer muscles. Think of equal weight right side, left side, even though it is not easy. Now leave your left leg up. You could, step two, would bend the left knee and reach for the foot with your opposite hand. So find a focal point with your eyes, about 4 feet in front of you on the ground, and you could lift a little higher, creating an arc in the spine, opening the shoulder, and release. Good. Let's switch sides. So right leg will lift behind, left arm reaches forward. Lift that low belly up and in. Then elbow to the knee, you can round and extend. Exhale, round. Extend, lift, one more. And lift, good. Keep your right leg lifted. Bend the knee, maybe catch the foot. Otherwise, keep your lift with your left arm straight, right leg long. That's still hard, challenging. One more, inhale, lift higher, and release. Good. Let's do one little cat-cow between our next sequence. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. So we'll curl the toes, come into your first downward facing dog. So when you arrive in your dog, feet are hips distance apart. And pedal the heels, start to move around your dog here. So that low belly, can you draw it up and in, and almost like you want to draw your navel towards your spine. create a lift of your hips up and back. You might feel your arms stretching further forward. That's the key. We like that. That's a good place to be in your body. So we take the weight off of the wrists and kind of equal between feet and hands. Okay, now pivot your heels to the right as you turn and bend your knees to the left. We're like in a little corkscrew down dog. So stretch a lot in your left rib cage here. Keep the weight in your left hand. And then we'll pivot over to the left side. So heels left, knees go to the right as we squat a little bit. Come to center. Good. Glide forward into a high plank. Your plank could be on your knees, but knees should be way farther back than your hips. So you can create a plank position. Core is engaged. Low belly is drawing up and in. So similar to our arch and curls on our back, when we wanted to sort of flatten that low back onto the mat, that's what we are doing in space as we hold our plank. Avoids the sagging of the whole body going down. Okay, exhale, back to your down dog. Take a couple breaths. Let the hips rise up and back. Good, let's do a couple more swivels. One, pivot, so hips are going right, knees left. Opposite directions, squat nice and low. Come back to center, come forward back to your plank. We'll hold for 5, 4, check your core, 3, 2, 1. Shift forward slightly and lower yourself down nice and easy, maybe from your knees. Good. Nothing wrong with that as long as you are completely strong and engaged. Good. Take your arms behind, hook your thumbs. You could also reach just back, that's fine too, but hook your thumbs and then we'll lift everything up. So energetically drawing the inner seams of your shorts or pants together. Lift the chest, lift and draw the shoulders away from your mat. Another breath. Exhale, release. Good. Take your hands next to the sides of the rib cage and lift for a nice easy cobra. Feet stay on the top of the mat. Lower down. Exhale. Curl your toes. Press up to your plank. Knees are high. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Good. Step it up a little bit so you can, again, be in your down dog shape. Lift the right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Tuck your knee into your chest. Come forward. Shoulders should be above your wrists. You're like in a plank position. And then back up to 3 dog. Right leg lifts. 2 more of those. Hug the knee in. Back to 3 dog. Hug the knee in. One more time. Back to 3 dog. This time, hug the knee in. You could do this on your left knee too, but we're just going to tap the mat with our right knee. Lift it up like little elevator lifts. As we lower and lift, so you can see my whole body lifts several inches. Lift, one more, tap and lift. And if you can, as best you can, step your right foot up between the hands. Lower your left knee. Reach the arms up, Anjaneyasana. This should feel good. Take it off of your arms. Let yourself stretch. Left hip flexor, quad, lift up. Cactus the arms, open your upper chest. And lift. So draw your hips back, create space for your lean forward. So lean forward, belly is drawing up and away from the thigh. And lift, reach. 2 more of those, hinge forward. So even this move requires stabilizer muscles. All this bending and hinging, leaning, twisting. Bring your hands to heart center. We'll add a little twist here. So the same thing, draw your right hip back, turn, just hover your left elbow on top of your right knee. Come back up to center. 3 more of those. twist, hover, center, 2 more. Inhale back up. Last one here. Inhale back up. Good. Frame your front leg with your arms and straighten the leg. Just come into a nice runner's stretch. Okay, extending your front leg. We'll call this a half split as well. Okay. And then bend back into the knee. Step it back to a knee plank. Okay, come onto your forearms. Forearms should be at a number of 11, and we're coming into a forearm plank. Okay, yet another core exercise. So from here, then that little tilt of the pelvis, navel draws up toward the spine, and we're shifting forward and back. 2, 3, 4. Keep pressing the mat away with your forearms. You shouldn't be sagging into the shoulders. You should feel a broadening between the shoulder blades throughout this whole time. Last one here. Then lower the pelvis, uncurl the toes, lift the chest up for Sphinx. And exhale, release. Good. Bring your hands back to the sides of your rib cage. Let's take it to a cobra or upward facing dog. Back to down dog. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Good. Tuck your knee into your chest, maybe nose towards the knee. Shift forward back to 3 dog. 2 more. Knee tucks. Last one here. 3-legged dog. This time we tuck it in and hold, pause. Tap your left knee, lift it right back up. Tap and lift. Tap. As you can see, my shoulders stay on top of my wrists the entire time. And then we step your left foot up between the hands. Find this nice long lungy stride. Lower the right knee. Reach the arms up. Anjaneyasana. Good. Again, take this moment to stretch here. Just feel good. Cactus the arms open. Reach up. Okay, now scale the hip back. Hinge forward. Float the arms back. Inhale and reach. Good. Hinge forward. And reach. One last time here. And reach. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist to your left. So the right elbow hovers. Come back to center. Twist. And center. If you're losing balance here, think of your focal point. Going from 1 point to point 2. And then back. Let's do one more. Keep your sight steady to center. Good. Release the hands down. Let's take just a nice stretch, half split with our left leg. Just feel good, opening the hamstring. Big exhale. Good. Bend back into the knee. We'll take it back to that knee plank version, or actually forearm plank. So drop to the forearms one last time, and we'll do the rainbow kind of arcs. So it's side to side. Right hip comes down, and then the left. You're swiveling on your feet. And just keep moving. You could do this from your knees, of course. Okay, last one each direction. Okay, come to center, lower the pelvis, uncurl the toes, Sphinx. Draw the chest through, stretch the belly. Inhale, exhale, release. Good. Hands again. Prep for cobra or upward facing. And then come into your second back bend here into downward facing dog. Let's stay 2, 3 breaths. So in our down dog, this often can be where we just find a bit of stillness. You can come onto your knees, be in a child's pose. Take it off your wrists. Okay, and then from the dog, let's look ahead. Step your feet up to your hands. Come to the top of your mat. Half lift, inhale, hands on shins, tabletop back. My back body, I can feel my back muscles engaged. Exhale, then fold it in. Soften the knees, come all the way on up to stand. Okay, draw your hands through heart center. Good. So for this next sequence, the right and left side, we will have our block in front of us at the highest height. But just take a moment, kind of recenter yourself. Right side, left side, samastitihi. Okay. Now we'll reach down for the block. Keep the chest lifted, tabletop back, float your left leg up and back. You could even look back at your leg, see that it's nice and parallel to the mat, toes turned down. Keep the chest lifted, and then bring your nose to the knee, and then extend. It's a little very similar to bird dog, but standing. Nose to knee, curl, and then lift back up. One more, nose to knee. Lift back up. Keep yourself in this nice level plane as much as you can, and float your arms back. Can you hold yourself for 3? This is warrior 3. Last 2. And 1, softly step your left foot way back. Find a nice high lunge. Reach the arms up. You can separate your feet. Maybe you heel toe your right foot off to the side a bit. Reach up. Good. And let yourself just be here. 1 or 2 more breaths. No hurry, no rush. Cactus the arms open. Let it go. Reaching back up. Same thing. Draw your belly in. Right hip draws back. Just hinge forward 1 time. Float the arms back up. Bring your hands through heart center. We'll repeat those twists, same as we did on the knees. Twist to the right, hover the left elbow. You can send your right elbow up too. We'll just move. It's a bit of a flow. Exhale, twist. Again, focal point, your drishti, where you're looking. Make it calm. Make it very smooth. Come back to center. Good. And then open up, warrior 2. Okay. We'll heel toe that front foot over so we have a heel to arch alignment in the feet. And then just settle into your warrior 2. Good. Soften your shoulders. Okay. Reverse your warrior. Right arm up and back. You can just softly have your left hand on your back leg. Stretch. Right side body. Now come back on up to center. Forearm to your front thigh. Left arm up and over the side of the head. Rotate a bit upwards. So you're looking under your left arm. Okay, and then let's add a bit of core challenge here too. So we draw that belly in. The right arm can float forward too, like you're holding a big ball in your hands. And try to see if you could keep your torso turned to the side. Ooh, your legs should be firing up too. Last breath, inhale. And then rise to stand. Good. You can bring your hands to heart center. Shake out the right leg. Shorten your stance. One last standing pose on this side. Setting up for Trikonasana, triangle. So start with your arms upwards. Again, we're holding that same big ball. And engaging the core. Just side bend over to the right. Good. And you can come down as far as you want. Maybe even tap your right shin. Come back on up. And this is our move. Just side bend right, back on up. Okay. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. And last time here. Come on back up. This time we'll come down and hang out in a triangle pose. So that right hand could come down to your shin or the block. Right left arm goes right up from your shoulder. Good, tone your right leg. Just feel good stretch here. Take a breath. Okay. And then release. Good. Bring yourself through a vinyasa. You could also hang out in a down dog. Vinyasa is plank, chaturanga. Good. Up dog or cobra. Cobra is from your belly, just a chest lift. Upward facing dog is everything lifts, even the thighs. Exhale and back to your downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths here. Good. We just find that, get ourselves back, our breath back a bit. And then you could start to take that stroll back to the top of your mat. And I am going to switch sides so I end up facing you for my next leg. So stand up. We'll start here. Your block is at the highest height. Reach down for the block. Now this time your right leg floats up. Okay, nice and parallel. You can even look back at the leg. Good, and then begin to draw your nose towards your knee. Tuck it in and extend. We're challenging our balance here too. Anytime we do that, that is core being used, absolutely. And extend. One last tuck, nose to knee. And extend, hold, pause. Back body's engaged. Lift, float your arms back. Good. For 3, 2, and 1. Softly step that right foot back. We'll set up for high lunge. So we're still facing the front of the mat. Reach the arms up. Crescent lunge. Good. Settle in here. Kind of enjoy that stretch. Cactus the arms, open. Inhale and reach. Good. So hinge forward, float the arms back, create space for your torso as you lean forward and rise on up. Bring your hands to heart center. We'll do those twists. So twist to your left. Right elbow goes towards and hovers above the knee, back to center. Twist. Again, steadiness of gaze helps steadiness of body. Good. One last twist. Come back to center. Good. Let's open up warrior 2. Good. Heel toe your front foot in. Open the arms, soften the shoulders. And breathe. Okay, reverse your warrior, left arm up and back. Good, let your knees still continue to lunge rather than scaling back out. Let's keep that lunge. Rise back up, forearm then to that front left thigh. Right arm up and over the side of the head. Rotate upwards to the right. Breathe. So stretch here, one more breath. Lengthen. Good. Now, left arm can float forward, but zip up your core here. Good. Another 3, 2. Feel the heat turned on in the body. Good. And rise up. Good. You can shorten your stance here. Same position of the feet. Reach the arms up, hold your beach ball. Keep yourself turned to the side and just side bend left. Good. You can come down again as deep as you want. Rise back on up. Maybe you're just going a little bit. Keep your left leg engaged too. Come back down. Again, we're breathing along with this movement. Super strong. Last one, rise back on up. This time, triangle. So left hand goes down, nice easy position for you to open up, reach up, feel good pose. Good, feel your arms broaden, like your wingspan has grown several inches. Good, and then exhale, release, good. So we'll take our block, put it off to the side. Good, come onto your knees. And then up, stand on your knees. We'll come into a camel pose. So camel pose is an opening of the front body. You still have to engage the core so we don't spill into the low back. Hands can go on your low back. Actually, I will take the block here behind by my feet. And just start here with your hands, fingertips pointing down. A little pressure on your sacrum, your low back, as you just lift, puff up the chest, roll the shoulders back. It's really about that. And then we lean back as one unit, lean back. Okay, maybe your hands go to the block. Maybe they can go to your heels. Or you could stay right at your low back, but breathe. And let's rise on up. It's a really amazing surrendering pose. So if that feels a little risky, it tends to have that effect. So you start from where you feel the most comfortable, where you feel like your heart rate is starting to build. Work with that first and breathe through it. Okay, and then let's come onto our seats. Swivel the legs around. One last little core section, as promised. Good. Navasana, so boat pose. You could start with your knees bent. You could support yourself with your hands behind your back. Otherwise, reach up. And let's breathe for 10, 9, keep the chest lifted. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You could take a break. Otherwise, hands go to heart center and we'll twist for 20. So 1 each side. 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep lifting the chest. If you're spilling into your low back, support yourself. Another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come all the way to your back. You can hug your knees. Good. And then you can extend the legs nice and long. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a couple breaths. Draw just the right knee in. And let's take a twist. So you might need to maneuver your left hip over a bit so you can turn more fully to the left. And reach the right arm off to the side. Gaze can go to the right. Good, soften your right shoulder back. And let's switch sides. So extend your right leg, draw your left knee in, lift up your hips over to the left a bit so you can roll over onto your right hip. And just reaching out left. Close your eyes. Come back to indoor. Nice warm breath. But probably deepen your eyes before you started class. Then come on back to the back. You can lay in a shavasana, kind of turn off the video, be here as long as you want. Otherwise, we'll come back on up. And good. Hands to heart center. Good. Thank you so much for joining me. From my heart to yours, namaste.